You're starting on Ubuntu 26.04, and before anything else, you want your system in a clean, ready state. So the first thing you do is refresh your package list and install a few essential helper tools. These are things your system uses to securely download and verify software from external sources. You're basically preparing Ubuntu to trust Docker's official servers. Without this step, even if you try to install Docker, things either fail or, worse, install in an unsafe way. Once your system is ready, you move into one of the most important parts of the whole process, adding Docker's official GPG key. Think of this like a digital fingerprint. Every package Docker provides is signed, and your system uses this key to verify that signature. If something doesn't match, Ubuntu simply won't install it. That's what keeps your system protected from tampered or fake packages. You download this key directly from Docker and place it in a secure keyring location. This is the modern approach Ubuntu uses now, instead of the older, less secure methods. Now that your system can trust Docker, the next step is connecting Ubuntu to Docker's official repository. Right now, your system only knows about Ubuntu's default software sources. By adding Docker's repository, you're expanding that list and saying, there's another trusted source, and I want packages from there too. This repository is smart enough to match your Ubuntu version automatically. So whether it's Noble or whatever codename Ubuntu 26 uses, it pulls the correct packages without you needing to adjust anything manually. After adding the repository, you refresh your package list again. This step is what makes everything click. Your system now becomes aware of Docker Engine, the CLI, and all related components available from Docker's servers. Now you're finally ready to install Docker itself. But here's something important. Docker isn't just one package. You're installing a full stack. That includes Docker Engine, which is the core service that runs containers, the Docker command line interface that you interact with, the container runtime that actually executes containers, and modern plugins like Buildx for advanced builds and Docker Compose for multi-container setups. All of this comes together to give you a complete, production-ready environment right from the start. Once the installation finishes, Docker is installed, but you don't just stop there. You want to confirm that everything is actually working. So you run a simple test container. What this does is pull a very small image from Docker's registry and execute it. If your system can download the image, start the container, and display output correctly, that means everything, from networking to the Docker daemon, is functioning exactly as it should. If that test runs successfully, you're in a really good place. Now, there's one small thing you'll notice. By default, running Docker commands requires elevated privileges. That's why you usually see people prefix commands with sudo. But if you plan to use Docker regularly, that gets annoying fast. So what you can do is add your user account to the Docker group. This gives your user permission to run Docker commands without needing elevated privileges every time. After doing that, you just log out and log back in, and the change takes effect. Now when you run Docker, it feels seamless, no extra friction. And the best part about using this method, because you installed Docker through its official apt repository, your system is now connected directly to Docker's update stream. So whenever a new version of Docker Engine or its tools is released, your system can receive those updates naturally through the package manager, just like any other system update. No manual downloads, no outdated versions. Everything stays clean and current. And that's the full process, done properly, using Docker's official method. Simple on the surface, but each step has a purpose, and when you understand what's happening, the whole setup just makes a lot more sense.